Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena story. First off, huge thank you to all of my patrons. You guys are amazing. Really appreciate all of the support. Alright, so we're in match 2, which is the semifinals in Group 1 of our current championship. Kaizen 808 is my opponent, and when I had checked out everyone in my group before, no one had any of the Galactic Legends, which is great. But then when I got paired against this person and they had won with their really low lifetime banner score, I figured maybe, I just wondered, like, maybe they actually did and I missed it somehow. So that's a factor, and we're going to talk about that more. First, let's look at some stats. They have more tier 7 relics than me. They outgun me by a pretty substantial amount on their high level tier relics, which is unfortunate. But that does happen. I do have an advantage in Zetas. I have better speed mods than them by a pretty significant margin. I also have a few more Gear 13s, which is, I think, that's probably the most telling advantage in a lot of matches that I've faced anyways. And then just in terms of overall success, I have over 100k lifetime banners more than my opponent, and they haven't won a whole lot. I've done better in almost every regard, but if they have Galactic Rey, then I need to change everything. So I'm going to show you guys my defenses here. I had to change a lot of different things, jump through a lot of hoops to have teams available to counter a Galactic Legend just in case, because I had no way of knowing. And so here are my defenses. I normally show them at the end, but here's what I'm doing. I put a Hux team in there just because I have all those relics. I needed one more filler team, and my Newt team is, honestly, it's just not cutting it anymore until I level them. I still have Darth Revan on defense, Geonosians, and then in the back, I don't have General Skywalker on defense. I wanted to. Instead, I needed him for a potential counter. So I have Shock T with the clones, which is a pale imitation of General Skywalker, I realize. And then I had my Night Sisters, which I've been putting on offense. So pretty different defenses, but I'll show you guys the teams in a minute here that I planned on potentially using. So when I went into this match, the Galactic Legend Rey was nowhere to be seen. There was a Grievous squad with Newt and some really fast Night Sisters, and then like a garbage zone, just total. Not good. But I hope this actually shows up bigger on your guys' windows. I'm not going to redo it though, so I hope you're happy. So we need to. I have all my teams listed on the left here, and I can split them up and do some weird things with them if I need to. And I also have backup squads, but I have 8. It looks like way more than 8 for some reason, but I'm just going in with 8 primary offensive teams. That means I can leave troopers by the wayside if I need to, or Kira or whatever. Now, my counter team to be able to take out Galactic Rey is Jedi Revan with General Skywalker and Yoda and Hoda and Thrawn. So that needed to be saved for whatever was in the back zone, just in case. And then after that, so I did make all of my decisions based off of those characters not being used at all. The good news is I didn't have to really plan for any of the teams on the top zone. They are all so weak that I can just basically use whatever I have left. So I'm going to take my Emperor Palpatine team with Bastila in against the GG Watt team. And then the Night Sisters just die pretty quick and fast against my Kylo Ren plus Watt. So after I cleared those two, or at least that's what I was thinking at the time, if I could clear the first 2 squads, then we could see what was in the back. If they have Galactic Rey, then great, we can just move forward and use my counter and use whatever I have left. I have Padme as well as kind of a contingency, so we'll see. But jumping into this match, now, I think it's really interesting that Watt is such a good character on this team, but it's actually an easier counter with this team if Watt is on it. Like if the Droidica or Newt is on it, it's actually a little more complex. So what happens is Watt goes first. He hands turn meter or he hands the taunting tech to either Magna Guard or B2, and then after that, Bastila goes, she debuffs everyone, and I'm able to use Treya to isolate whoever has the taunting tech. And then immediately after that, we want to be putting the shock debuff onto B2, because B2 will take turns if I'm hitting other characters, unless he has something that prevents that. Shock does prevent that, and Emperor Palpatine as lead is really great at being able to get buffs, or rather debuffs, onto characters. So we're just trying to now spread the damage. We don't want to kill anyone. We kind of got lucky that we got shock, or rather a stun onto General Grievous, so he didn't get a turn. But then Nihilus just, it seems so fast. He just gets his Annihilate up and he kills Grievous. And now what we're doing, we're trying to just kill this squad as efficiently as possible. We want to get as many banners as we can. Then they've already done a couple AoEs, so that means Palpatine and Treya and Nihilus are going to be short on the protection bonus. The most we can get is 57, but Bastila can still get her protection up via various things, and you see now it is up. And then Scion, if he uses his his third special, he can heal himself or heal his protection. And so that's kind of the goal here. We're just we're trying to get Scion's protection up. So as we progress through this match, from now on you'll see me making some decisions with the goal of trying to get his protection regenerated. So you see his third, or I guess it's his second special. He tried to use that, and he didn't regenerate any protection. I think that was a fail because B1 only has 1 health, so he probably just regenerated 1 protection or something like that. I'm not sure. I need to read his kit one more time, but that was a huge fail, and so we're trying to just spread out the damage here and wait until Scion is able to get his special and get that 1 extra banner, because honestly this guy went weak teams, such weak teams on the top. That means he kept all of his meta teams except for potentially Galactic Legend Rey or whatever is in the back. He kept a ton of really strong teams though for offense, and that meant that immediately this battle was going to become an efficiency battle. Whether I had good teams or not, that's what it was going to be. So I need every banner that I possibly can, and Scion can regenerate that if I use the right abilities. So we're just deferring. You see I've passed up on Annihilate a couple times. These guys are not looking great. They have a lot of turn meter. They have a lot of debuffs, which will hurt them if they take a turn. I thought for a long time, like, who do I even hit with Nihilus? I decided to hit Magna Guard. He took a turn, of course, his death turn, and hit Scion, because, I mean, he had the debuff anyways, so he was going to hit Scion. But I never got a turn. Scion, if he had gone next, he could have gotten it. But as it stood, 56 banners, I guess that's fine. I'm used to 57 there, and I guess I won't whine too much, though. So now we're trying to take on this Night Sisters team, and it's pretty standard as well, actually. We're going to take First Order here. First Order I would consider to be like a B+ level team, and so are Night Sisters. But maybe Night Sisters are more like an A- tier. Like they're not quite meta, but they really just destroy most other B-level teams. And so Watt does change that equation by quite a bit. What we're trying to do here, you don't want Talzin to take a turn if you can prevent it. That's not always something you can prevent, but if you can, that's kind of the goal, because now you see she did her AoE. Watt is in yellow health already because that AoE hits health rather than protection. And so we have the taunting tech onto Kylo Ren, and he's Relic 7, he's not going to die. But Watt is going to take a lot of effort to try to get into max health again. And like I said in the last match, we're really trying to get as many banners as possible, which means trying to get full health and protection on everyone. And so here I was trying to put the healing buff onto Watt, and I don't know, I think I had kind of a brain fart there. I decided to just put the healing tech onto First Order Officer and wait for a turn. And really, I guess that's not really that bad of a decision. Where this is a Saj lead, so that means that we can take our time. They're not going to be doing all these crazy assists every time they take a basic turn. And now what we're going to do, we could kill Spirit, First Order Executioner. If this is the first time you've seen this match, First Order Executioner prevents revives when he kills, and that applies to every character except for Spirit, or rather Zombie, because Zombie is a different character every time you kill her. So we're now we can just stun Spirit so she doesn't take a turn, and we'll just kill Zombie over and over again with our basic attacks or whatever attacks. Just keep Spirit stunned, and slowly over time, Watt did put his heal over time on himself, and we're just going to wait until he regenerates all of his health, which can take a little bit. It doesn't really take that much longer in this match, but that way we're guaranteed 60 banners instead of 59, and frankly, I mean, I lost one of my matches last season, and I only lost one the whole season. The one I lost, though, there were a lot of factors there, but in the end, I lost by one banner, which could have been attributed to a ton of different things. But the fact remains, every single banner counts, and I mean, I do wish that I had been a little more cautious on banners in that match. So, anyways, we finally got him to full health, and Spirit is now gone, and now we can take out Zombie and move on. So 60 banners against a really fast, really strong Night Sister squad, and then an upgrade to a league that no one cares about. So now we need to see if Galactic Legend Rey is in the back. She is not in the back, so that was a big relief, and now we can make some decisions here. To be honest, there aren't that many decisions here. The back zone has a Newt squad, which is it's pretty strong. It's relatively strong. It's got a lot of different characters that can do a lot of damage, and then it's got Geonosians, and there are only a couple. There are a couple relics on them. That spy is a little bit worrisome at relic 7, but otherwise, I decided to take Commander Luke against them because you can just destroy them with Luke if you have the right characters available, which I did. And then I also I'm going to use my troopers against bounty hunters, and then I guess I'll just surprise you guys with the rest, because frankly, there's nothing too crazy here. We can split up the Jedi Revan team, though. We can do all sorts of things. So let's see what kind of shenanigans I pull. All right, so my concern here isn't beating any of these teams. I have the right tools for that. My defense is considerably weaker than usual, though, so I needed to have high banner counts everywhere. So Commander Luke here, we want to take out these Geos. They're the biggest threat. So Han goes first. He stuns Brood Alpha. That's important. This order is very important, in fact. Luke goes, and he does his stance change, so Chewie assists. Luke does need guard there. When Chewie assists, it applies tenacity down to Brute, and then Luke uses his special to put buff block or buff immunity onto Brute so that he can't actually taunt anymore. And now I was trying to get Poggle down. As long as he has ability block, that's fine. We don't want him dispelling all of these debuffs and destroying us. So he's the only real threat left. We took him out at some point. Chewie used his AoE to dispel Spy. We killed Spy, and this is over. Honestly, this was a really easy 60 banners, or rather 59, because they'd got a hit on me at some point that I didn't heal from. I was a little frustrated by that. You see that I stared at the score for a minute because I was angry. But eventually that rage turned into resolve. I needed to get as many banners as I could, make up as many as I could, because I'd already dropped 2 that I could have prevented. I could have absolutely just prevented it. So we're trying to get as many banners as we can. So I'm actually doing something backwards from what I normally preach that we should do. I actually make fun of people who do this, because it's so. I've seen it happen to good players even, where they clear the bottom zone and then they don't clear the top, and then they fail to clear the top, and then they can't get to ships and they lose because there's 2 zones not here, but what I'm doing here, I just want to make sure this is the only other team I'm even remotely afraid of, and I just need to I need to use my team here and make sure I get a good score. So first I used Jedi Revan here against Newt, and I used Mark to just take out the Dooku, because Dooku can cause issues potentially, not many against this team, but after that I wanted to make sure Droidica didn't get many turns, because Droidica I think is the only relict character on this team. Nest is also another character who can make things a little bit messy, and so we're just trying here, though, to mitigate any kind of damage. I actually think maybe I should have taken Bastila lead here, because even though I don't have as much speed on it, Bastila would have given me a ton of bonus protection that probably wouldn't have worn off. Instead, I'm having to rely on trying to get all these assists and heals and stuff against this team before I drop banners. So I call a mass assist with Revan, everyone heals some protection, that's great, and now we're just trying to heal protection if we can, and we're trying to make it so that Jango doesn't take a turn. Unfortunately, he does an AoE, and then we do a big counter, and it actually got bigger banners than I had assumed at the time. 60 banners. I was hoping obviously for 61 because I undersized it, but that squad is gone, and now we can destroy the zone that only has one gear 13, and the rest are just pretty garbage. So let's I wanted to try, I've been wanting to try this for a while. People take General Skywalker solo against certain things, and I'm not brave enough for that. I'm just not. If they land the right combination of things, a lot of these teams can beat him if I get the wrong RNG. So I'm taking another 501st character, which is Ahsoka, which means that if Skywalker does get toppled, then like he only gets toppled. He'll stand up again. I'll get a reset, and it won't be pretty because Ahsoka would die and everything. But at the same time, we can hopefully pull through it. So Zeb got a big hit in there and took a banner away. We have no way to regenerate that, but 62 banners instead of 63. That was cool. Skywalker was totally wasted on offense here, though I don't regret it because I didn't know if my opponent had Galactic Rey or not, and I actually have a program set up that will tell me, there's like a reference thing that'll tell me what characters have when they at Grand Arena lock. So I'll give you guys that information next week when I use it, but as it stands, I just needed to be cautious, so I don't really regret it. Now, I'm taking my Padme squad at 3-man against this First Order team, and the hope was they're only gear 12. Hopefully I can honestly just like one-shot the whole team with my Relic 7 Jedi Knight Anakin's AoE, and that proved to be a little bit short-sighted. That wasn't going to happen, I don't think, at any point, and it would have been glorious, though. So, just think of the glory that would have achieved for me. So I went backwards here on killing characters. I killed the 2 Kylos first. I can't think of a time I've ever killed either of the Kylos, first or second, ever, at any point. So pretty weird match, and they did take a few turns and take down my protection on all 3 characters. So 59 banners. Padme's never been great at maxing banners anyways, unless you face the right squad. So whatever, though, we're good. I didn't want to use General Skywalker on that team because the 2-turn stun from Kylo Ren can really mess with you if that happens, because you don't have a way to get rid of it, really. And now these bounty hunters, this is about as easy as it comes, as long as your Stark is faster and you have the Death Trooper linked with turn meter and then range trooper. So I took out Zam first because her grenades can really mess with you in terms of, like, if she gets a turn, it can just derail you like crazy. So killed all the other guys. This boss is actually Relic 7, so he has a lot of health and protection, but we have Terminate on him, or Death Mark, whatever. So 60 easy banners with troopers. my troopers outsped his, but like my Stark was like 100 speed faster than his Bosk or something crazy. So good for me. And in the back there was Malevolence, only 5-star, but it has 7 stars on both the Vulture Droid and the Hyena, which is actually that's the team I'm putting on defense right now. And I asked my buddy Hens, who has Malevolence, I asked him what I should do against this Malevolence team with Negotiator, and his response was he didn't respond. So I got impatient after waiting for about 2 minutes for him to respond and just jumped into it. And I was trying to decide it's only a 5-star Malevolence, so I figured I could probably beat it with a pretty significantly undersized fleet. I didn't want to get too small, but here I wanted to take out the Vulture Droid first if possible, and I think Sunfac there really kind of, I don't know, he did derail me because I couldn't actually hit the Vulture Droid. Now, I don't know how this worked, because when I use my own Malevolence against this Negotiator build in this exact situation, my Vulture Droid is always dead at this point, and all of these ships of mine are basically maxed. I think I have Relic 4 and 5 on Ahsoka and Bosk, but they all have their 6E mods. Everyone else is max. So I don't know. Vulture Droid survived. That's not great. And our goal here now is just to, I don't know, kill everyone, basically. That I didn't have a great plan. You want to focus down one character at a time. I decided to go for Vulture Droid. My Houndstooth just completely failed me. It got just demolished. And then Jedi Knight Anakin's ship also got demolished. So things were looking actually pretty scary at this point. Ahsoka's stunned. I have 5s doing nothing right now. They're doing all these assists. And there's their whole fleet is up and running. 5s got stunned. Really not looking great right now. And honestly, I was like, do I need to put it in airplane mode and quit or whatever? But I mean, Vulture Droid was already dead. I'd done a bunch of damage that was unhealable to Sunfac and Vulture Droid. I decided that I would keep this attack regardless. Plo did come in and give me a little bit of a boost. He dispelled all the debuffs, and we're just trying to focus. We're doing as much damage as we can, because I figured at this point probably I'm just going to lose, and it would be embarrassing to show everyone, but that's just what would happen if it needed to. And really, somehow I managed to pull victory out of the jaws of defeat, and 59 banners is not actually terrible for fleet. So it was looking bad, and I think I could have played it better, but in the end I did win. So a little bit lucky there, of course. My final score was 1928, which is actually pretty close to my top score ever. So happy about that. But when my opponent attacked, I was afraid for a little bit. When they did attack, it just came real fast, and I ended up beating them on efficiency by a pretty sizable margin, by 24 banners, actually. So I did get one shot. All of my teams got one shot, but he dropped a lot of banners along the way. And I'll just show you guys my defenses again, and they just have a 1 next to them, as in they all got destroyed in one battle. I have no way of knowing. My opponent didn't actually respond to any of my attempts to talk, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But they didn't tell me anything about what they did, or what their experience was like, what their emotions were when they saw that I had Shock T clones. That nothing. My Malevolence hopefully caused them as many headaches as theirs caused me. But one way or another, this was a relatively easy win. I'm good at efficiency when I have the opportunity. I actually took a lot of good offensive teams, and 1928 might be my highest to date. And it's certainly uncommon for me lately to get that high of a score, because I've been putting so many crazy teams on defense. But anyways, I've made the finals, and we'll see how that goes. My opponent does not have any of the Galactic Legends, but they do have a pretty good roster, and so stay tuned for that. And I think I'm going to let you guys go here. Oh, I do want to show you guys one thing real quick, something to anticipate for next week. And that is that I've unlocked Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So the slacker himself will be visiting my holo tables at some point next week. He's currently gear 12. Maybe get him to gear 13 and throw some relics on him at initially or eventually. But one way or another, I will have that team available. Unsure what I'm going to do with him. It seems kind of fun to put him on defense, but we will see. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. So thank you so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.